Hello, everyone. So today is November 1st. It is 2:54 a.m. and I am wide awake. Why? Okay, so I went to urgent care Friday morning. I was on a cruise October 13th through the 17th. I didn't bring my glasses, so I can't see the calendar over there. But anyway, I started feeling sick on the 17th. So I've been sick all this time. My doctor had told me stop using so many antibiotics, so I was trying to ride this out. Last Wednesday, I ended up with, I thought I had pink eye in my eye. So I went to the eye doctor. He said, no, it is not pink eye. The infection that you have, the virus you have, went to your eye. So I did eye drops for a week, but I still could not shake what was going on with me. So anyway, I go to urgent care. They gave me an antibiotic and a steroid. One of those things are keeping me awake. It is literally like 2:55. Oh, I can't do it without them taking off. Anyway, it is too early or too late in the morning for me to be wide awake when the rest of the world is, at least the rest of the United States is asleep. So anyway, I decided to pop on and I was like, well, I may as well do a video and try to sell a book. Okay, so I'm Kia Holt. I am the author of Dealing with Grief and How to Move Beyond It. It is my story of experiencing grief, beginning with watching my mother suffer with cancer and finally pass away when I was 18 years old. It is about a traumatic breakup that I went through, and more than just a breakup to me. And then some of the other deaths. And I talk about how I did not get stuck in a life of grief. I didn't allow it to overtake my life. And so I pray that same thing for all of you guys as well. So there's that one. And then I also have a sermon notebook and journal. So this one, I'm a pastor. And when I was not a pastor, every Sunday I was taking notes whenever I would go to church. And so I didn't always have anywhere to write all of my notes together. And I was always buying different spiral notebooks and things like that. And so one day I was like, well, how nice would it be to have everything in one place? So it is not just a place to keep all your sermon notes. I also have a place for prayer requests. And then each month I have a reflection for you to do, a monthly reflection. And I also have spiritual growth questions at the end of every month, and then some more things to ponder at the end of the year. So this one has 5 weeks for every year, so it doesn't matter what month you decide to purchase the book. It will always work. Just you start it whenever you buy it. Just start it so it's for an entire year. So that'll be great. Okay, and I realized I did not include my journal. Okay. So I'm really excited. I published the journal right before I went on vacation. Okay, so hopefully it'll come back where it's not fuzzy. Let's try that. So anyway, this is a companion journal, and back up a little bit, that goes along with the grief book. So here's the thing. If you read the grief book and don't buy the journal, it works. If you buy the journal and you don't buy the grief book, it works. So you can either get them together or you can use them separately. Let's say you were one of those awesome people who bought the book earlier this year. I published it in July. So let's say you already bought it and you read it. Will the grief journal benefit you? Yes. It is not just a bunch of empty pages. I also wrote a lot. It ended up being longer than I anticipated. So it is not just blank pages. It is called a companion guide because I do really try to guide you through some of the things and try to really help people get beyond their grief. So not being stuck in their grief. So we all experience grief. As long as you keep living, you will experience grief. That's the sad part, about all of that. But my prayer in writing this, because I didn't feel like I was grieving at the time that I wrote the book. And I was like, really, God? Okay. I'm glad that I did, because even out of my immediate friends and family, the book has been beneficial. Excuse me. I had a friend who recently went through a divorce, and he said, you know what? I'm not grieving the death of a person, but I'm grieving the death of a marriage. And he talked about how the book helped him. I had another friend who retired, and she was like, Now what? And so retiring from a job is grief. Moving from a house that you've been in for so long is grief. Losing a pet is grief. And so getting laid off from your job is grief. So we all experience different grief. I'm not good at editing, so I won't be editing this out. It just kind of is what it is. Plus, it is early in the morning. But anyway, all of us will deal with different grief events. And whatever it is that you're faced with, my prayer for everyone is to not get stuck in it. Don't think, oh my gosh, I can't live without my loved one. I don't know what I'm going to do. People who use unhealthy ways to deal with their grief, people who consider self-harm, people who consider suicide, that is not the answer. That's not the way we want you to go. So I really want, buy one of these and really try to help yourself navigate through that grief. So it's not denying the grief. It's not saying the grief isn't real. It's not saying that grief isn't happening. It happens, right? Here's the thing. My mother died in 1990. My father died in 2020. Even though my mother died a very long time ago, I still miss my mother. Sometimes I learned what these different events are. I talk about it in the book. But I remember just like things out of the blue, a commercial, like a simple commercial. And I'm over here boo-hooing. And I remember one time I was like, why am I crying? My mother died 20 years ago. What is going on? And so sometimes those grief bursts kind of come out of nowhere, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that, you haven't gotten through your grief. It's just that sometimes grief just kind of comes and slaps you aside the head. And my thing is process it, acknowledge what you're feeling. I'm grieving. I'm missing my mother, father, whoever it may be, or whatever the grief event is. So it's acknowledging it, but also acknowledging the fact that I might feel a little sad now, but I'm not going to live a sad life. I'm not going to live a depressed life. And so I have a lot of different chapters in here, and I just wanted to share some of them that I have on there. I also wrote a couple poems. I used to write a lot of poems in college. So writing them now, dare I say it out loud, 53 years old was a surprise. I actually was 52 when I wrote the book. But anyway, I talk about preparing to say goodbye. God, you are not enough, for all the people who blame God for the different grief events. So there's a lot of real life events that happen that we all need to deal with. So I will do some more videos about some of the other chapters. Hopefully it won't be at 3 o'clock in the morning because I will be asleep like the rest of the people. But anyway, use your time wisely. That's what I'm doing now. So I'm going to put my bonnet back on and try to go back to sleep. But anyway, all jokes aside, I hope you pick up a book. If you do, please be kind enough to write a review. And thank you so much for watching my video. And I hope you're asleep this time of the day and you're watching it during the sunlight hours. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye.